Hello, hello, welcome back, guys. Who is ready to get some planning done? Uh, just a reminder, there is a new template in the description, so go on and grab that if you haven't already and get yourself a print, either print it out or you can put it onto your tablet if you have GoodNotes or Notable. Think that's the other one. Those are both the ones that are iPad. I can't remember the name of the one for Android. How is everyone doing? Let's see. Kat is ready. Awesome. Lori, hello, hello. Rita is here. How's it going, hon? Elaine, I'm here but not planning. Just chilling. Hey, that's okay, hon. Hanging out. It's all good. Okay, guys. We'll give everybody just a few minutes to jump on and join us. I hope you had a nice little break. Got myself sorted and organized. So the template we're looking for is this one here now. It has a little more division on it. It's got a nice place here to do the math for time. It has our, here has our top, sorry, go that way. Top six, whatever. Let's do it this way. Top six of our goals, and then like a little space at the bottom, because really the time that we have, it's unlikely we're going to have time for these guys, but we can note them down just even for future reference, right? Okay, guys, I also reworked here this section here, so the protagonist stuff all occurs here. I resorted the order because I think misbeliefs and new skills could be related to each other and that be more powerful. Our daily habits, instead of having the tracker, I've added connected to area so we can remind ourselves what bigger goal these connect to. And then I've did the refill the well down at the bottom, just our little list of when we have our self-care time. There she is, right? You've got your mini little list. You don't have to think about which one you want to do, but you have enough of a little list that you can sort of say, well, maybe I'm not really in the mood for reading right now. I want to do something with others or something, right? You can go with that mood that you have in the moment, right? Phyllis is here, and hello and happy Sunday right back to you. Rita, I like the time edition. Nice, nice. Yes, I'm thinking it's going to work well. Okay, guys, does everyone have their template? Give me a yay if you do. And then we will dive on in and see how this system works. I've gone through it and through it and through it, so I'm hoping that it's close. This will be more or less the final form, and then we'll just do little tweaks as we go. I was trying to think of all the things because I want to basically have a one pass system that we're getting it out of our heads and onto paper, and then be able to break it down, but then also be able to maybe have a space, I'm hoping maybe for additional thoughts that come while we're doing it, because sometimes we don't think of a step. That's just a reality, right? We sometimes don't realize that we have to do B in between A and C, right? There's a littler step that we have to take care of first, right? So I want to be able to I want us to be able to use it as a living document. That would be ideal. Okay, guys. Phyllis, do you have your template? Let me know, hon. And Kat, are you ready as well? We are going to dive on in and we'll take a look at the template first. Okay, guys, welcome to Let's Plan the Right Way. And our new template. I love this thing, guys. So we have our backstory section, our gold star moments, our distractions and best fixes, and what we've been avoiding. We're always avoiding something. It's life. We have our complications, which are the important dates, the things that we've already agreed to. The supporting tasks, which are the things that we do in our daily lives to, stay sheltered and fed and clean and all those things, right? And then the major conflicts, I just put them down here because, face it, they're not something that happens very often, but when they do, we want to be able to maybe create some strategies of how to deal with it, or what we can maybe still get done, taking into account energy and stuff, right? Then we have our ticking clock. So we have our 168 hours, which is what everybody has in a week. A lot of it goes to sleep and morning routines and work and eating and errands and appointments and all those kind of things. I've left a few blank lines here. So if you have something that is not on the list, that doesn't kind of fit into one of those categories, you can add it and then give the time to it. And then we're going to do some math. 168 minus all the complications that are in our lives. And we're going to seek our protected time. This is our time that we're going to use for our goals. And then we'll break those down into our biggest goal, our 2 medium goals, and our 3 small goals. And we want to name them. We want to show what that time looks like. So there's a space underneath for the hours. The percentages should stay the same, whether you want to, if you're going to round up, round down. I think having a bit of a buffer is fine. As you guys will notice, this only goes to 95% because not 5% is in spare so that we have something to give if we need it, right? We don't want to be giving 100% all the time because then there's nothing in the coffers to reach for when we need that extra little oomph, right? The other side of that is our pardon me, voice. I know it wants to leave, but it's not going to because it's going to let us do this. This is where we're dealing with our goals, breaking them down. This will be all the projects and our quarterly goals, monthly goals, business tasks, anything that kind of goes with the our bigger goals. So this is the big one. 2 mediums and then the 3 small, and down here is, like I said, that little area that's for if there's something else, but in likelihood there may not be a lot of time for this, if any time. Any dates that are related to it, and then this is all your strategies and you're breaking it down. Then we have protagonist, we have misbeliefs first because I think that's the most powerful, and I think that will tie into the other 2 areas the most and help us the most if we understand them. We have our new skills, which again, very powerful, and it's going to help us to support our goals. And then we have our daily habits, again, supporting our goals. What is the daily habit and what does it connect to? What are we trying to build, all right? And then finally we have our refill the well, which is our happy list. I called it our joy list. And then we have where we break it down for our story beats, which is basically our final step before we go and dive into our planners. And then we can do our storyboard, our care days, and then our deep focus, and a place, of course, for the date. Okay, guys, these scenes are the building blocks of all stories. These are going to be our defined actions. This is what we're going to use this is the language that we're going to use to create our steps of what we need to do. So the goals are for this week. Yes, we're trying to keep this to a 7-day window, preferably, if at all possible. I would love if it could be a 6-day and then a day off. That would be wonderful. But as we get used to it and figure things out, maybe that won't be possible yet, right? So you have your defined actions as to be continued, something that's already begun, but we're still working on it. The natural next task steps, the evolution of a piece. You can't publish it if the first draft has never been written, right? Your measured increments, giving that time to it on a weekly scale allows you to balance out the days that are busy versus the ones that are not, and putting in the writing time or whatever that goal needs, and breaking in with that bigger number in mind for the week. Good, better, best goals allows you to give yourself a relatively easy goal, something that's a little bit harder, and then that one that's sort of reaching for the stars. But if you reach it, whew, amazing, right? Micro steps, any small step that will keep you moving forward. Target dates. For some this will work, some this will not, but we put them down if they work for you, or try them. Maybe you've never tried them. That way you're giving yourself a target date to be done, and it's not a someday thing. This is to prevent that someday attitude that we often can put things off for, because we'll get there somewhere, sometime. We maybe want to be more specific, right? And then also we're going to see some things that can be delegated that we don't need to do, and some things that simply can be deleted because we realize they're not serving us or our goals. Okay, guys? So let's begin with our backstory. A set of events that have occurred before the main story. All right, guys, let's climb on in. This will be that first column under starting with the gold star moments. And let's see how last week went. Give yourself credit for what you have done, so you know that you are moving the needle forward. Even sometimes it's a smaller amount than you thought, right? Okay, so we're going to celebrate our successes and gold star moments. We're going to analyze our challenges, biggest distractions, and best fixes. And then we're going to look at what we've been avoiding. Why? Does it still matter? How to break it down, make it priority number one, schedule it, and get it done. Now, for the first one, we're just going to hit the successes and the biggest distractions and best fixes, and then we'll go into the avoiding. Okay, guys, let's dive on in, and I'll throw a timer up there, and let's take note of where we've been and go. What did you come up with? I stuck to my plan last week at least for my big goal, for the developmental editing goal, and I got my homework in for a day early, which was nice. And I got the results last night, and they were favorable, so I'm happy. Now I still have to finish off module 2 and get that homework done, which I will. Now, as for the distractions, writing was something I did not have energy for, being sick. So I thought about the story, and because I had a deadline with the developmental editing class, I just sort of took what I was learning in it and sort of used that to think about my story, and just kind of work through the processes a bit, because it didn't have, I mean, other than the little bit of writing I did today, that's it for the week, which I'm happy for, and that's fine. Let's see, Lori, to be honest, I can't think of any gold star moments. I accomplished very little. Out of what you accomplished, is there anything you're proud of? Try that angle and see if that helps. So, okay, guys, think about that, and we'll get into our next panel. Reluctance. What are you avoiding? Why does it still matter? Break it down, make it priority number one, and get it done. All right, we're going to schedule that in and we're going to get it done, get it off our plate. So if there's something that you are avoiding, and I think we all have a little mini list of things that we avoid because they make us uncomfortable, they make us feel like we are not ready sometimes. Sometimes it's just something that the person you have to reach out to isn't someone you really want to deal with, but you kind of have no choice. Sometimes it's a skill-based thing. You do not have the skills yet, or you don't believe you have enough skills yet in something, so you hold yourself back, realizing that most of things in life you kind of end up learning a lot, most of it, while doing it. Yes, you can know the basics, which fine, know the basics going in, but the reality is that you won't actually know the specifics of where your weaknesses and strengths are until you try, until you actually take those steps, right? Let's see, Rita, I spent every day with some writing and I finally got pro writing 8. Nice, congrats. I got 3 chapters revised with its help. I love that. Congrats, hon. Kat, I got my first 5K writing day this month during this week. Congrats, hon. That is awesome. Phyllis, reluctance shredding. I just did it this weekend. Need a schedule, a monthly time for it. Yes, definitely. Okay, guys, get that timer up there and think about what it is that you've been avoiding and what tactics are you going to use to get this done. Usually it starts by putting on your calendar instead of ignoring it. So that's step number one. Then you can figure out, is it a phone call, an email, something you need to read or look up, YouTube videos, just something you literally have to install the software for and just give it a try, right? Let's go, guys. Reluctance. Let's see what we have been avoiding and go. Okay. What did not get done? What did you guys come up with? Phyllis had shredding. I had typing up my other project, Project Hidden. What a perfect name, because I've hidden it from my thoughts. I cannot edit this thing. I cannot begin to edit this thing until I get it into a computer. It's completely handwritten. 4 notebooks worth of handwritten scenes. The only way this is going to happen is if I start for one. So I'm going to put into next week's schedule that I have to type for, give it attention for 1 hour. that's it for the week. And hopefully I will get enough into that I don't know if I can really give more to it right now because of the class, but I want to give 1 hour to it to start getting it into the computer so I can start editing it, because I know the story is good. I know it's flawed. I know it's good. So I want to be able to get into that. So that'll be my strategy for the week. Let's see. Lori, I've been avoiding cleaning the freezer, the fridge, and the oven. Why? Because I find it so time consuming and overwhelming. Does it matter? Does it? Well, it does in a way, but at the same time, it doesn't. You're going to have to look at the rest of your time, hon. Maybe right now is just not the time for it. Maybe in a couple of weeks. It depends on what's on your plate, what you're trying to do. And I don't know if you guys have seen the memes of basically there's one where a little dog is chasing the rhinoceros. There's another one, a man wrestling a bear, and the caption underneath is basically, I was avoiding writing my novel. Like, why did you do it? I was avoiding writing, of course. So sometimes things like that enter our brains because we kind of feel like we should do them, but a couple weeks is not going to make a huge difference, especially if you already have a more pressing project that you want to have done and a deadline to that, right? Rita, reluctance, finishing with the upstairs, but at least I can walk through the hall, spare room and storage. Maybe the research for D2D is the next quarter project. I'm not ready for self-publishing yet. Yeah, it's the stories first, right? Kat, I've been avoiding going back to my small town heroes movie script. I'm a little reluctant to stop the story at certain page count, also avoiding cleaning the house. Stopping the story, I'm a little reluctant to stop the story at a certain page count. Oh, I think I know what you mean. Because it's a script, it has to be really. Is there something? It sounds like you're running out of time in the script. Can you adjust something else? Even don't make the change right now, but maybe write a note to yourself that cut A, B, and C scenes because they don't really add as much as they could, or combine them or something, and then maybe that would give you back the page count you need, possibly. Just a thought. Okay, guys, let's dive into complications. The things that happen while you're saving the world. This is your story. You're the heroes, guys. And there's wrestling the bear or defeating the dragon, right? Hey, Cami. I hope you've been well today. Panda and I spent 20 minutes strolling outside, then 30 playing inside, so I lost all track of time. What a sweet baby you have there. Okay, guys, important dates. We have, for the next 2 weeks, we always use the next 2 weeks because that way we can see what is coming at us. So I'm going to use Google Calendar for this. Okay, guys, so any holidays or events, birthdays, appointments, commitments, and any workshops or classes. I do now have workshops and classes in 2 places because sometimes there was ones that we're taking for our jobs or for some other aspect of our lives, our daily lives. And then there's ones that we're taking specifically to help us with our major goals and our projects, right? So I've got them in 2 places. So kind of just depending on which they serve more, there's 2 places, right? So note your travel time, action steps, prep, confirmation if needed, and paperwork. You never want to show up to some place if there's paperwork and you haven't done it yet. Okay, guys, let's get our 2-minute timer up. Get your monthly calendar out if you're using a paper planner or your Google Calendar, whichever one works best for you, and go. 26 to the 3rd. Yeah. Okay. So what did you guys come up with? I am discovering that we get to actually, heavily, my daughter has a reading week from university this week. So hopefully that's going to imply that we can have a much more relaxed week. And it looks like the hubby doesn't really have any big appointments either. I think he does have one. It's an eye appointment. So we'll put that down for the 20th. There. Cool. I like when weeks are calm. We've had a few too many busy ones. Okay, what did you come up with? Do you have anything? So we've got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. There we go. There. Okay. Let's dive into our next one here. This is our supporting tasks. This is all the everyday life tasks. I almost feel like changing it to life tasks. Might be a better word. So that's our sleep, our work, our chores, our errands, our meal planning, exercise plan, banking bill due dates, insurance, planning our daily, weekly, and monthly, because that's coming up. We should be doing that next weekend. And any live sprints that you want to attend, depending on your schedule, where they fit. Batch together tasks that are similar, and that way you can get them all done simultaneously and save some time. Let's see. Cami, my important date is today, as I need to place my grocery order for Tuesday delivery. 12 cans of salmon for only $17.88. 5 pounds of potatoes, $1.49. Nice. Same for 3 pounds of carrots. Great prices. Lori, I have to babysit the grandkids tomorrow, Monday, and Wednesday of this week. Taxes to do on February 22nd. Need to get my newsletter out, and more to come. Kat, I just added the weekly Are You Meeting, church, and double down day. Nice. Rita, this week is all writing focused, no babysitting for me. Woo! Awesome. Lori, I'm also attending a attending 2 writing summits this week. Well, that's extremely awesome and cool. You'll have to tell us all about it. Okay, guys, now, you have 2 ways now you can do this. I would say for the area here to, like the specifics, whether you want to do laundry, maybe you have certain returns you have to do, that kind of stuff, and get the specifics into the main area. But then the things that are broader, like sleep and work, and sort of, you have to work 30 hours this week. You can just plunk that number right down into the words. You can put like the specifics here, but if there's anything that's just a larger thing, you can put the numbers right into play, right into the 168 hours, because generally speaking, there's not going to be any specifics for the work other than the fact that right now you have 5-6 hour shifts or something. So you've got 30 hours you're looking at. You can include your driving time if you'd like as well. And then sleep can be how many hours you're going to need or you're going to aim for. I think that's the better way of looking at that. All right, guys. Are we leaving off here? Nope, this one here. Okay. Let's see. And Cami, I remember recently making a dish with Havarti cheese, but I have no idea what it was. I'm trying to find it in my bookmarks. The cheese is on sale, so I need to decide to buy it or not. Yes. Lori, it sounds like you have a very focus-heavy week ahead. Yes. Will next week be the monthly work through? It might be both. If I can manage, I want to do both. We'll see if I can manage that. I might do one on the Saturday and one on the Sunday. It might be crazy, but I'm thinking about it. We'll see. We'll see. Watch for the notifications to come up. I don't know. We might have to leave the weekly to want just everybody to do on their own. I have to figure out what I can manage, right? Okay, guys, let's get our 2-minute timer up and figure out all the little bits and pieces here of our normal everyday lives and go. Give it you. Okay, what did you come up with? I need to note down maybe daily planning because I want to spend a little more time. I'm good for setting up the week usually. I'm good for setting up the month. But the daily and checking in, I want to say the night before. I don't think that will happen. Morning of, I think. And that way I'll have a plan for that. I should create it and make it more of my morning routine. And that way that's happening more consistently. I've also found myself leaving it at my desk, which seems to be ironically helping. What did you guys come up with? Let's see. What else there? Bill due dates. Does this week land in that? It does. Pay bills. I give myself an arbitrary date of the 23rd of every month to pay bills, and usually that way it gives me a little wiggle room. If I don't get to it right away, I know it's sort of in my head and it's that consistent date. Usually one of them is just, it's one of the last bills that actually comes in, so I use that kind of as my, okay, now you have to get onto that, lady. Come on. Okay, guys, let's dive into our next section, which is our major conflicts. This one is unlikely for a lot of us, but it's something that I want you to consider, because if you do have something and you have dates and times for it, if you write it down, then you can kind of keep it in mind when you're creating your plans over the next coming weeks. So breaks in routine. Types are vacations, holidays, like the major holidays, the ones that like Christmas when you're shopping and having buy food, special foods, make special foods, all the things that kind of the decorating, they kind of it becomes a big project in and of itself, right? So, and it is definitely multi-tiered. So something like that, or even maybe Halloween, depending on how into it you are. Are you costumes, decorating, any special foods again, going and buying candies and treats to give to the kids, right? Let's see, surgeries, if anything's coming up, you're going to be out of commission, you're going to need that recovery time. What happens to your plan? Can you get things done in advance so that you can just have that time and things are sort of already semi set up? Just kind of think about that kind of thing. Conferences are amazing, but in my experience, you do end up having a bit of a reset afterwards because it's a break in your routine, and you're also usually you come back with so much new information that it takes a while to kind of process it and work through it. Courses, like right now, this course is literally 4 weeks with assignments handed in, with hours of videos to watch, and she only extended it. She gives us 1 extra week basically to get the work in. So I have to stay on top of it. I have no choice. Other things are going to have to be pushed to the side. It's not an option if I want to actually do this well and then work on to the advanced class. Renovations do create chaos, always, always, always. Injuries, I know you can't plan for them, but if you were to get injured, say yesterday, that's going to change your week for sure, right? So whether you need to relax, participate, enjoy, or recover, and how long will it take to get back to normal, including your rest period. Okay, what did you guys say here? Cami, I always have the target of 6+ hours sleep. Then if I at least get 6 hours, I still feel like I didn't mess up. Perfect. I love that. Rita, just the normal stuff for me. Cat, writing, and freelance are my best big tasks for this week. Nice. And we will get to that. We will break that all down. Okay, guys, I'll give you just 2 minutes here for the major conflicts. If there's any, just make a little scribble to yourself, specific dates, and where you think there's room, what you may, on strategies you may want to use, and go. Okay, and then that is, let's see. Yes. Let's see. Lori. Oh, no, first Phyllis. Planning vacation. I like the idea of recovery time. Yes, yes, for sure. Lori, I have about 60 hours of conflicts. I have taxes. Catch up on Publish and Thrive course, the 2 writing summits, which I could do at my own pace, just like Publish and Thrive, but I still need to find time to do them. Do these even count as conflicts? Taxes, maybe, because they have a deadline and they're not something you normally would have in your schedule. So I would say taxes for sure. Publish and Thrive and the writing summits are both things that you can kind of, you have a little more leeway. So I would say those would be things that if they don't happen next week, or that, which module are we up to in Publish and Thrive? 3, module 3, I do believe that's right. If you don't get through a module 3, you can still attend the Q&A. But that's a good question. I think it depends on, I would give it like at the very least, more of like a medium in terms of importance, because there's no hard deadline that's going to make it so you lose out on something. Like my course was I was saying my course was because literally we have a window of like 2 weeks max to get that module in. Otherwise, she isn't going to mark it, right? So I have to do it. I don't have a choice to do it right now. When I went into it, I knew that February and the beginning of March were going to be consumed by this, because that's those were the rules, right? Let's see. Cami to Lori, you need to find the time for them amidst your daily routines. So I'd say so, yeah. They're kind of a balancing act. I think there's something that you want to do and you might want to incorporate them into your program. But you also have to look at your time. Oh, my software's being funky. Hopefully nothing goes down, guys. Fingers crossed. Let's see. That's exactly what I was thinking. Cami, true, P&T, and the summits aren't deadline based. And for Cat, conflicts, sun baking days and events. I don't know when we have to do them. It's underneath the heart. Okay, guys, think about whether it's a have to, and there are penalties if it is not done on time. If you, okay, for example, the taxes. If you don't get your taxes in on time, you're going to pay interest, right? If I don't get my course homework in on time, she won't mark it, and maybe I'm not allowed to advance to the next level, which she also teaches, which would suck. I wouldn't want to do that. Yeah, you buffered a little. Play nice, computer. We don't do gremlins around here. Okay, guys, let's head into our next one. The ticking clock, a time limit or deadline that adds constraint, obstacles, and ensures the protagonist must act. This is where the difference between using a target date and letting it be someday comes into play. We want to stop using someday, and we want to make sure that we are moving our dreams forward by making them a priority. All right, guys, so our first one is knowledge of time. You have 168 hours this week. Most of them are already spoken for. Breaking it down. 56 for sleep, 45 for work if you work full time, 28 for meals and cooking, 2 for planning, 14 for family time, 4 for life tasks, 2 for self-care, 3.5 hours each for morning routine. That's only a half hour each if you're basically having to get yourself organized and out the door, right? So that one, I have a feeling a lot of people are going to change. So if that is the case, and you have a full-time job and all these numbers are similar, well, then that's going to leave you 10 hours for your goals. What does your time look like? Work this around to get it what you feel like is going to work. These are going to be guesstimates at first, guys, because face it, sometimes you go into work and your boss asks you if you can stay. Suddenly your 45 hours is now going to move up to 47, and 2 hours of something else might have to change, right? So this is a living document. Things are subject to change because life is subject to change. But we want to have an idea of where we're putting our time and what matters, right? Let's see. Cami to Lori, say you have 3 hours a day that you normally write. Look at a lower word count goal that you can do in 1 hour. use the second hour for taxes, then use over, that's over, when that's over, publish and thrive, and then third for the other. Yeah. Depending, yeah, and just, we're going to have to figure out the time. So let's do that. All right, guys, let's put a 2-minute timer up and put in your best guess for how much time you spend in each one of these categories. I will leave it up to you whether you want to put your travel time, or there are the blank spaces. So if you want, you can put your travel time in there. Okay. And maybe make it as a just time in the car and all the different things and how that adds up. Okay, guys, and let's proceed. Okay, what did you guys come up with? For mine, I ended up with about 25 hours of protected time. We try to have 2 hours of family time every night, so 14 hours there. I have a few hours for walking the puppers in the evening. What else do we do? My evening and morning routines, I gave an hour to each per day. I think that's relatively, I think that's that's a little more than I need, but then any extra time I end up with will be bonus time, as always, right? In terms of errands, this week I saw as a lighter week, so only put 4, which I'm hoping will be even less than that because we have a much lower, leaner schedule this week to keep it. I love that. In terms of planning, I gave myself 3, which is a half hour, give almost a half hour each day, which I think should be good. Let's see. Cami, I'm lucky my time looks like whatever panda lets it look like. Or you laugh loud. I didn't come up with any protected time. Seriously, I think I'm overestimating my time. I came up with 172 hours this week. Now, the question is, is some of that time that you've put down there, how do I put this? You have your non-negotiables, which, I'm sorry, many of these are non-negotiables. Sleep and work. We need both of those. And face it, if you give up on some of your sleep, you end up paying for it always, right? If you don't eat right, you're going to pay for it, right? So I wish you could share it with us. Any way you can give us, is there something on there that you have given too much time to, or is that an eye opener as to exactly maybe the why you're finding yourself not having as much time as you want for your goals? It could, I mean, this could work either way, right? I need 4 hours that don't exist. Oh, hun. And that maybe explains, like, you are often in a state of overwhelm because you're stealing from time that probably is things that you, because you know the time isn't there, right? Let's see, I think I overestimate on chores 10 hours a week and planning at 7 hours. Do you do an hour of planning every day? Or is that over the weekend? What is that looking like? Let's see. Chores, 10 hours. Can you trim that back in some way and maybe delegate some tasks and get back some time for you? Let's see, Cami, one-time cleaner takes from money but gives time. Exactly, exactly. Okay, let's see if we can move forward and see if I would definitely amend some of those times because I think they're very overestimated. And if you are giving that much time to them, and okay, is that just for the week that's coming up, and then after next, and then next week it's more these are reduced numbers again? Like, is this like one-time things? Or like monthly chore list where you do all the big things in one week and then the other 3 weeks are later? Like, what is this? I guess I should ask that first. Rita, my AM and bedtime routine is maybe 30 minutes. Most weeks I have the kids for about 16 hours a week, but I'm sorry guys, my voice is dry and I'll leave the building. And not this week. I have at least 45 hours per week for writing fun. I love that. Cami, if you don't live alone, delegation and communication reduce the numbers too, even if just 1 week to get you time. Yes, yes. Kat, I'm at a rough estimate of 142.5 hours this week. Then I have protected time. Yeah, your remainder is your protect time. This is just for just this week. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna say then, okay. When you get to your goals section, you're probably not going to have a lot of time for it if all of life is adding up to that. But maybe you can start thinking, and you can maybe consider what the things are. Don't give a time to them, but maybe some of the things that you will be wanting to get to after this week. Because if those numbers are already booked, you're not going to have any time to get onto the goal stuff, right? It's going to be harder, right? Now, did you put your live sprints times in there that you want to attend? Because that would also make a difference. Yeah, actually, I'm going to, because I usually use them when I'm doing, you just gave me an idea here, actually. I'm going to take the live sprints instead of put them under supporting tasks. I'm going to put them instead as part of our strategies for doing our projects. I think that would work better because most of us use that as our creative time and the community kind of creative time, right? So I'm going to move that, okay, to the plan, because that is helping support our writing. So if you take out the live sprints, I did include live sprint times as well as self-care. How much time is that? How much does that add up to? I normally use the live sprints for writing related fun stuff and for planning. Yeah, I'm going to take that right out of because that's kind of a hangover from before we had a really simplified one for the planning session that was less about our creative and just up sort of getting our stuff out of our heads and down onto paper. So let's move that. And that makes more sense to me. I'm adding my writing freelance work into my 142.5 hours. Is that supposed to be right? Since that is my work. I would say that is more the creative. I would say maybe your freelance stuff is if you can divide them, because I'm assuming some of it is more sort of freelance that's more to a certain side of the market. And then there's passion projects. Can you divide them? Would that be possible? Or you just pull it right out and you can put that into your more creative goals and projects for that bigger picture, right? Live sprints and self-care adds up to 14. Okay, that makes more sense. So if we take away the 4 that you went over, that gives you 10 hours that you can put into your creative tasks, right? That feels better. Less scary. Okay, guys, let's move to our next one, which is the goals pyramid. You have your 1 big goal, 1 to 2 mediums, and 2 to 3 small ones. Let's see, Cami, I look at my writing as self-care since it's still becoming a daily routine. I take about 7 months to develop routines. Oh, interesting. Yeah, and to me, my self-care is when I do the things that are those little guilty pleasures. I love doing them, but I'm usually having to take from something else if I want to do them. Now it makes sense. Love that, Lori. Excellent. Okay, guys. So we're into the next part of our template. Let's go over here. And we're working in here in the name your goals section. And you have your biggest goal, your 1 to 2 medium goals, and then your 3 small goals with a spot for the percentage for calculating, and then what that actually looks like in hours. Let me come back down. There. So let's name your goals. What is your biggest goal this week? What are your 2 medium goals, and what are your 3 small goals? They're both for money, so I thought to put them in work, but it is also for goals. I would say keep them near goals, and that way if for some reason you have to have you know what, I'll call it a day job. How's that? I will rename work to day job. That way we have the separation of the 2. Does that help? So make a few more little modifications on this. We're gonna figure it out, guys. Okay, guys, so let's name your top 6 goals here, from most important to those smaller ones, and go. I really do need that much, so. Some changes. Okay, let's see. Cami, she's right here, so I guess 1 meow. You meow. Oh, I love you, little kitty. Oh, perfect. So for me, my big goal this week is delve into editing because I found last week that I didn't think the assignments would take as long as I did, and I didn't take into account the conversations that were going to need to take place on the forum part. So that also was a bit of time that I had to put into that. So this week I'm realizing that that one has to have that little more time. Writing and health are my secondary goals. I'm not happy with the hours that would be going to health, but I'm hoping that I can somehow maybe incorporate some of what I'm doing in the developmental editing, like maybe put on headphones and while I'm watching the lecture videos, I could be walking or something and maybe do a combo of those two so I can have the hours that I need and get the steps in I want. And then my smaller ones are YouTube, because I end up doing a lot of my goal related work in the when I'm actually on live with you. I basically have just a small 1 hour that I've set aside that will be for like setup and scheduling and that kind of stuff, right? Social media and getting back to driving. What did you guys come up with here? Well, you guys, to answer, I will go to the next one here. Protected time. First rule, don't give 100%. You need downtime. So what we aim for, 40% for our base goal, 20% each for our medium goals, 5% each for our small goals. And that's going to give us 95%, which means we have a built-in 5% of that time, which will be, can either end up being downtime, or if we overestimate something and we still feel that we need to get it done in that time, then we have something to grab from and that little extra time that's not locked in. And what that looks like in hours is 4 hours, 2 hours of each for the mediums, and a half hour each for the small, which is not a lot, but it is at the same time, because if we protect this, we get 9.5 hours of focused time. You can accomplish a lot in that time if you protect it. What does your focus time look like? You're going to take the amount that you have for your protected time, and then you're going to break it down with your calculator, and you're just going to do 40%, 20%, and 5% and fill in the time. You can decide whether you want to round up or down. And depending on, of course, like if you get 1.2, you're going to drop back down to 1. Classic rules, right? Okay, guys, let's see what you guys come up with. Read big goals revisions with pro writing A and a medium, content for social media and upstairs mess, small library stuff, journaling too. Nice. Lori, okay, so I refigured my ticking clock hours and came up with 152 hours, which gives me 16 hours of protected time. I feel so much better. I feel so much better for you. I'm like, hold on. She's -4. This is scary. Although, that said, I think we've all had weeks like that where we're like, hold on a second. What? That doesn't add up. Okay, guys, so let's take our calculators out. Your computer should come with one as well if you don't have a handy one. Or our phones. They also have a nice calculator on them. Okay, guys, and let's figure out what your 40% is, your 20%, and your 5s. And go. Pardon me. Pardon me. Okay. What did you guys come up with? So I, as I said, have 25 hours to play with. 10 hours goes to my biggest goal. 5 hours each for my writing and health. As I said, 5 is not something I'm happy with for my writing, for my health goals. So I'm going to find ways to accomplish my health goal while doing development editing. I can't really write and walk. That doesn't work very well. I know I could do dictation, but I'm not quite at that place. So I'm going to combine it with the development editing and watch some of my lecture notes while moving around. And then finally, for the other ones, I ended up with 1 each, which I know is off on the math because I end up with a spare 2 hours that are not accounted for. But I'm going to leave them there. That way I can move them around as I need to, because I think I can do what I need to in those smaller goals in that hour if I'm focused. And downtime by default is a 1. Let's see. Lori, I missed how you explained how to break down our time. I was reconfiguring my time with 172 hours to 152. What are you basing the 40% on? Our protected time. Oh, I took the, how do I do this now? I broke it down by the, I had to find a way to get to, I wanted to get to 100%, but whenever I did that, it felt wrong because I don't believe that you ever do for that full 100. So I backed it off to 95 because I wanted that built-in buffer. I don't like the idea of maxing yourself out because it does 2 things. It makes it so you have all your time is already committed, and also you have nothing to give. There's nothing extra if you need it. So what I did was I broke it down and I took the 95% that was remaining because it gave me nice clean percentages, and I ended up with the 40, the 220s, and the and the 3 5s, so 95%. And that way we have that built-in buffer, that built-in spare time that's not defined. I used to do Scholastic Book Fair years ago for my daughter's elementary school, and I would always have at least one mom who would ask me why I didn't designate, can't speak, myself a position. I did that because as the chair, I knew all the moving parts of running the book fair. But if I tied myself to any one station, I wouldn't be able to jump in and help when chaos ensued, which, face it, it's a group, it's a huge event. Chaos ensues. So I left myself as a floating body. This is the same idea. If you're tying yourself down and every minute is already addressed, there's no wiggle room when you discover that something needs that little bit more from you. Does that make sense? Let's see. Can you dictate well on a treadmill or stationary bike, thus utilizing the time for more than one task? I've never actually tried it. I should. Lori, in other words, if I have 16 hours of protected time, I should figure 40% of that, 20%, etc. Yes, exactly. Rita, if I did the math right and I gave myself less time with library tasks, I have 20 for revision, upstairs cleaning for 10, same for social media content, 2 hours for journaling, and an extra 2 for self-care. Nice. And 2 hours for library tasks. And then you'll also have that 2 hours for that spare downtime, undisclosed time that ends up being a buffer. It's not spoken for, so it can be used for anywhere that it needs to be, which I think is very important. I think that any plan should have room to breathe, right? Sounds like everyone's doing okay now. Let's proceed to our next section, which is our plotting and the plan. Oops, if I actually went to the right channel. Plotting and the plan. Series of related events making, sorry, voice. We're not doing that. Behave. So this is where we're going to flip over and we're going to use the other side of your document. Which gives us here, we have space for our biggest goal, our 2 mediums, and then our 3 smalls, and then any of those extra ones there. And then this whole section will become our plan for our goal setting. So if you flip it over or single-sided, whichever you did, it's fine. Series of related events making up the story. Definition for the plan is an intention or decision about what one is going to do. Let's see, Cami, I have an under the desk pedal machine that I can't do anything visual while on. Motion sickness hits me hard. So that's while I do my verbal audio test. Oh, I like that. Nice. All right, guys. I'm so sorry. So, goals pyramid. This is where we're going to list. This is our action we're going to take. This one's a simple one. We are going to list our 6 broad goal categories first. If you have more, then list them, but realize you may not have time to get to them. So, as I just said, the biggest areas for your big goal, 2 mediums, and 3 smallers. They are deliberately written to give you a smaller space so you cannot overfill one and take away from the bigger tasks that you want to work on. Okay, guys, so let's just give those broad categories and get them down on this side of the sheet and go. Okay. What are we working on? I got a phone call. I missed it. Did we do the 5 W's and how? Not yet. Not yet. That was just, actually, I don't even need to put a timer for that one. I could just keep talking. Actually, I won't put a timer on that one because it is unnecessary. Let me make that small modification. It only takes a few minutes to write that one out, or a few seconds to write that one out. Let's see. So in that one, we're just writing out the broad category goals under plotting. Let's see, that way we give ourselves the main name of our goal, what we're trying to achieve, right? We did our goals on the monthly, so hopefully this is just us being able to take that piece, right? Let's see, Cami, I struggle with follow through, caring about motivation. I've wanted to catalog my food tote, all my non-grain flours, dry foods since before the bronchitis, but it's still sitting out untouched. Maybe grab another box and you can catalog 2 items a day. And that's what you have to do, and move them into the next box. And then the next day you can do 2 more, move them into the box. And that way, when the tote is empty, then you could just put them back in and they'll be all cataloged. You're welcome, Lori. Okay, guys, this is where we start breaking down that nitty gritty. So this is where we're getting into the plan. We already have some things that we have planned for our monthly and quarterly. So what do you have designated for this week? If you already had something specifically designed for the plan, what do you have new for this month or Q1 that you might fit better? They'll fit into this week. Any new opportunities? Again, we're seeing if that's something that we want to start tackling. any prep or research that you want to do, and you need to, if you need to adjust, reduce, or delay. Just because you planned it for the month doesn't mean that it fits into this week's schedule. We have a precious protected amount of time here that we want to make sure that what we're choosing to do are the things that are going to move us forward. Phyllis, I have my goals aligned with projects set up in my Kanban board. Nice. Okay, guys, so take a look at your monthly plan. I'm going to pull out my, where did I put this? I'm going to pull out my monthly plan that we did together. And let's see if there's anything in there that I designated that should be happening this week. And let's see, Cami, good idea, thanks. It didn't help that I only just put away the canned goods that have been out of my ottoman since the groceries came 2 weeks ago. One thing at a time. Okay, guys, let's do this 2 minutes and see what we have in our quarterly goals and monthly. So I have okay. So what did you come up with, guys? For my weekly plan, I had my reminder that stay on top of it. If you get behind, it's not going to work. For the first one, the second one, I kind of readjusted it because I, at this point, was still working through the first draft and I thought I was on Act 2, but when I got to Act 2, that's when I got miserably stuck and the story would not go any further because I hated the direction it was going in. Let's call it what it is. Let's see. Cami, but now I have my seat on that side of my suite open again and can do that. Nice. I have added embroider once a week to my monthly goal. It's part of my creative goals list for March. For at home, I have pedal twice a week. Both might be self-care, but I look at them separately. That's true. And that's sort of how you look at it. Like I said, my self-care tends to be guilty pleasures. If it's something that is already is kind of already supporting one of my goals, then I try to just incorporate it into the goal, right? Let's see. For this week, I added a third day of doing my walking routine after actually managing it 4 days this week. Nice. Congrats. I love that. Hi guys, our next one is our projects, our ongoing, recurring, new, on hold. What, why, how, and when. So now I need to, part of the plan is I'm going to add the live sprints in there. because that is often time that we set aside to work on our creative goals. So I'm going to make sure that gets in there. And I'm going to add this one, and I'm going to call it, make a little note for myself here on my paper. That way later on it'll be easy to swap it out, day job. Let's face it, the part of the idea is to get away from the day job often, right? Rita, this weekend I've been watching the last season of Roswell, Mexico. It's finished 2 years ago. Yeah, I know. That was a good one though. So good pick. Okay, guys, let's get our projects underneath our goals as to what we want to work on. Keeping in mind the amount of time that we're giving to each one and whether or not we actually had the time to give. Say that your medium goal had, 4 hours. That's, you can't be putting, write the complete draft or finish, write the whole first draft. That's likely not going to happen in 4 hours, right? But you can say write 3 chapters, right? Okay, guys, let's just update all of my projects. My online Canva board, nice. Okay, guys, let's sprinkle in our projects where they fit and give them some definition and their whys and hows and whens, and go. Actually, I will add one notation on that. Since we're adding the live sprints in here, if you also want to add in which live sprints you want to work on, maybe a certain project, maybe for your writing, you really, really want to work on them during Jenna's sprint on Wednesday? Bad brain. Friday. We'll say Friday because I know she's on Friday, right? And you know you want to do your writing during Jenna's sprint. Boom, there you go, right? Okay, and proceed. Let me brainstorm. What's a P&T? That would be 24th. That one. Okay. Cami, I'm being very simplistic, lax with goals since getting so sick this year. Yeah, and it takes a bit to come back from that. So slowly start putting your routines back the way they were, right? Phyllis, it's great to see that I am on track with my goals projects thus far for 2024. Let's see. Are we doing the monthly recap and planning next week or the following week? We are going to have to do it, I think, next weekend. And we'll have to, I'm going to try to figure out if I can schedule both and do the monthly and the weekly, but I got to see if I can make that balance. So watch for the notifications. I'll maybe try to put a community tab up with a breakdown so it's clear. Let's see. Next week. And I will put a monthly plan with me, weekly plan with me, and ready sprints. So I will have to see what that looks like, that I can manage that and still do the others. So watch for that, guys. Rita added that I was going to declutter and organize the upstairs during Angela's sprint on Wednesday. She canceled, but I did one task block, not four. You still did some though, that's good. Because face it, with her canceling, that might have been an easy one to just go, right? Lori, that 2 minute wasn't enough time for me to figure it all out. And well, we have some more. That's supposed to be just our projects. And then we have our like business tasks. I find as we run through these that sometimes we don't quite get it all down, but go back and add, right? Like these, we're trying to keep it at a clock because we don't, not everybody has a ton of time to sit and do this at this right now. So if you need a little bit more time, steal some of it from the next section, and then maybe just make a little quick note to yourself, another piece, go back to, and then those two sections, okay? And our next section is business tasks, which are supporting our goals. These are our min tasks, our business planning, our budget financial planning, our banking, our meetings, and workshops classes that we're taking to build our skills that support our goals. And again, always batch together tasks that are similar, so that we can hopefully have them take a little less time and we can be more efficient. Okay, guys, and keep in mind, other things are to keep popping up in your head while you're doing this. It always works that way. So you might end up with maybe a project that goes with one of these, and just write it down, right? And go. Okay. What did you guys come up with for that one? For me, it was mostly just the admin task stuff I pulled from. And I think I actually need to add one more step in here because it's not a big step, but it's an important one. It's kind of an admin piece. And business planning, I think that's a next weekend thing. Let's see here. And the workshop and classes, well, that's already defined. Okay, and let's see. Now we get into the one that I personally love because it's making a better version of ourselves. So our project for the protagonist, the character who drives the action, us. So the first one is our misbelief. What bad choice have you been making that are affecting your overall health, energy, and concentration? I use the example of drinking water in place of sugary drinks and just slowly getting that out of my system, which I think I've actually done a fairly good job at. But for this misbelief, I think I want something that is more about time that I could have been doing something of a low energy task and I didn't. Let's see. Silly question. Where does this go on the template? Is that the which one are you referring to? Are you referring to the business tasks, which are kind of more details that are part of the plan? Because usually these are supporting some kind of goal. That's the idea behind them. It should be a meeting that is specific to one of your goals. This is not the day job. This is not the ordinary world stuff. This is the special world that we're creating. I'm going to change some of my language and I'm going to use some of the ordinary world and special world, I think, which we've been using in our monthly. And I'm going to incorporate some of that over to here. That was the business task. Yeah. I would put them under part of the plan because each one of them should be moving your goal forward in some way. You're not going to have probably a lot of these, but any part of them that you feel like is fitting, like for one of your financial, you've got a budget financial planning. Well, that's your taxes. That is for is that your taxes for, I didn't ask this before. The taxes, is that for your day job or is that for your writing or both? See, in other words, did the business task go under the plan? Yes, exactly. If they are for the business, if they are something that is a personal nature, then they will go under the other category on the other side of the page. I'm going to say personal versus business. I feel like I have a little bit of work I have to do on my slides here, but not by much. I think we're getting closer. Okay, guys, so let's take 2 minutes and figure out what we're going to do for a misbelief and how we're going to shape that. Mine was thinking that I could sit in this chair and not get my steps in last week because I wasn't feeling good, but I still would have felt better if I'd moved more. I know I would have. Okay, guys, let's do our misbelief. Crazy. Okay, what did you guys come up with? I've already sort of said mine before, because it's the only way that I can manage, because technically my number one goal should be my health goal. Because I know that I need to put in at least basically 10 hours of movement throughout the week in order to get enough steps in. So, but the reality is that I also have the development editing one, which has a massive deadline. So I'm comboing the two. So I'm going to be combining moving with watching my development edit lectures. And that way I can get both done, hopefully. And I don't usually take a lot of hard notes anyway, so because they're pretty concise regardless. So I think that'll be a good way to get the steps in, and that will at least account for some of them, right? And get me closer, because 5 hours isn't going to be enough. And I'm not going to be very happy with the number of steps if I do that. And I'm not going to feel very good either, and I don't want to do that. And I certainly don't want to be giving up on sleep, because if I give up on sleep, then I get another flu, and then I lose more time, and I don't want to do that either. Let's see, and another phone call. Oh, hon, these guys need to leave you alone. Lori, your Sunday is a very popular day today. Yes, Lori, it's like that every single day after 7 p.m. Boundaries, boundaries. Is it telemarketer scammer nonsense, or people with no concern for boundaries? It's family with no concern for boundaries. Yeah. You're gonna have to tell them you're working until, I don't know, give them a different time. Let's see. Phyllis just finished updating my quarterly plan goals for Q1. Didn't think I would have time to get it in. Thanks for the planning. I need to go have dinner. Perfect. All right, guys. What did you come up with for a misbelief? New for me in the evening sprints, I want to start watching some of Sarah's and other videos when I don't feel like writing. Oh, that's good. I like that. Yeah, get that inspiration going in there. That's beautiful. Love that one. Star. Okay, guys, our next one is our new continued skills. Do you need to apply for or purchase? Reading, study time, coursework, very different things. Your practice time, so that way you can bring in mastery. I'm trying to use my development editing as I'm writing my own novel, and taking what I learn and trying to put it into the page and think about the mechanics and what that looks like. And then evaluation. So let's see. I just don't answer my phone, or I tell them as I answer that I'm not in a good mood, so it's not the time to talk. Lori, my misbelief every week is I'm not drinking enough water. I need to drink more, and going to bed too late. Oh, the too late thing. Oh, I hear you. 2:30, 3 a.m. Why? I know I don't feel good the next day when I do that. Cameo, man, if I could purchase skills, I'd be all over that. Well, in other words, it's something you're gonna have to have. You're gonna have to pay for. Sometimes you gotta save up for it. Sometimes it depends on whether, because not all classes are cheap, right? But sometimes you need them, like development classes. The current one I'm doing is, in the scope of things, it's a cheap class, but it's still $350 US. It's not nothing, right? I had to figure out and plan and make sure I had the means for that, right? Let's see, like a game cheat code. Yes. Okay, guys, let's get our 2 minutes up and figure what skill we want to basically, what skills we want to start maybe bringing into focus, and which ones we're currently working on, and what we want to do with them, and go. Okay, let's see. Cami, I get it. My 50 by 50 has relearn first aid CPR and also get food safe certificate again. Sounds good. Um, are those ones that are open all the time, or are you gonna have to wait? Like maybe your first step is research on both. Let's see, cat routines and time management are my new continued skills. I have previously been forcing my body to get up at 5 a.m. Then I start writing overnight. I have to take better care of myself. Oh, that's a recipe for burnout. Take care of yourself. I don't take care. Cami to cat, I look at it as if I have to force myself to do it. It's not my natural internal clock. Thus, me being awake all night isn't into the next day. Yeah. For me, it's always going to be easier to stay up late. Always. It's just who I am. All right, guys. Your daily habits. What 3 to 5 things? Yeah. What 3 to 5 things do you want to work on daily this week? What goals are they connected to? I had, for example, writing morning pages and walking 5K. Let's see, Cami, they're open all the time. I was just using them as examples of paying for skills. Yes, yes, of course. Thank you. Lori, I just purchased Book Brush. Not sure if it was a good investment or not. I thought I'd give it a try and see if I should keep or get my money back. Oh, interesting. I like that. I've heard of that one. Yeah, maybe, yeah, give it a try because it's helps with if I remember correctly, your marketing stuff, right? Tell me if I'm wrong. If I've got the right software package. Okay, guys, let's get our 2 minutes down here and figure out what our daily habits are and what they connect to. I'm going to try, if I can here, to maybe pick maybe one that will support the top 3 goals, and then the other 2 I might make sort of more one fun one and one maybe something that's on the other side, just to see if I can kind of make it more fun for myself. Let's see. Yes, it can help with marketing and book covers, book sets, etc. It sounds like a good fit, actually. Anything you don't have to service you have to pay for that you can do yourself and do well, that's worth it. Okay, guys, let's do our daily habits and go. That one's already incorporated something. Journaling. And I'm going to keep water first. This is a health goal. This is a listening to what I was writing. It's a story for me. Ah, So I came up with, can you can you please explain how the habit is connected to? Thanks. You might have said it and I missed it. It's more about basically trying to attach it to a bigger goal. So for one thing, for one, how I have my walk 5K plus, that's attached to my health goal. Water first is also a health goal because I find when I my first coffee of the morning, if I drink that, yeah, it tastes good, but I'm already in a very dehydrated state and it ends up bringing me down more than I want to be dry. So if I have water first and then I treat myself to the coffee, my whole body feels better. The other one I'm going to do this week is I'm getting myself 2 ready goals. I'm going to give myself a daily 100. I get 100 words. And the other one I want to give myself is I want to I want to do a sticky board for plotting, basically a plotting wall, right? And nothing fancy, just I have to write 1 sticky and move that plot forward per day. And I think if I do those 2 small things, I can stay connected to my writing while I'm focusing mostly on the course. I think it'll work. Hope that helps. Let's see. Cami, the waking hygiene routine I mentioned earlier as a part of taking better care of my body is cleanliness and cleanliness in general. The pedaling 2 times a week is part of being more active away from my desk. Nice. I'm still seated for the pedaling, but I'm not hyper focused on my electronics or hunched over the desktop keyboard. As the weather gets warmer, that will also get walk with Panda 3 times a week. I love that. Rita, water before coffee, journaling, and tarot in the morning is best for me. During Mel sprints, I started with revising, and now I'm too tired. Oh no. Cami, as I get better from the bronchus, I'm slowly moving my daily step goal from the 300 steps a day. While I was sick, back towards the 2,000 steps a day. I was finally in December. This week, I'm at 950 steps. Nice progress. 4 of the days I got around 1,500, but then my low days were less than 850, so I'm being realistic. I like that. Good structure. Laurie, so if I want to continue memory keeping, that would be connected to my journaling goal. I think so. I think that would be helping you for gratitude, for seeing the positive things that are happening in your life with family and friends. Journaling for me, I also wrote journaling down, which even though I end up journaling about all sorts of things, I find that quite often it helps to get all the bits out of my head, which helps me to be more clear when I'm writing, if that makes sense. So I do that, and I took away the morning pages because I found that very seldom I did them in the mornings. So then I just feel guilty if I don't do the morning. So now they're just journaling, and I give myself more freedom to do them each day when it fits. Let's see. Outlining would be connected to writing my novel. Exactly. Beautiful. I love that. Okay, guys, this is our happy list. Refilling the well, your favorite activities, getting outdoors, trying something new, journaling, reading, and playing games. This one, I call this your joy list. What's going to bring you, what are the things that just bring you happiness and joy? These are the things that we want to have on this list. This is our self-care list. This is our not doing something that has generally something else connected. This is just something that's for us. These are the things that we love. This could be doing some art. This could be reading, journaling, but like positive journaling, I guess would be. Okay, guys, let's dive in 2 minutes and populate your joy list and go. Okay, let's do. have a last there? Yes, on this one I am more about here. Okay, what did you guys come up with? Let's see, Cami. Besides our furry housemates, that's tricky. I got some daytime reading on there, which I have slowly been getting back into, which feels so good. I have this little farming game that I downloaded a couple weeks ago that I'm absolutely loving. It has a whole Parisian like theme to it, which makes me happy. If I can figure out the name of it though, let's see. Paris City Adventure. This makes me happy and joy. I love that kind of city builder type of games. I adore them. So that's one of my little funs. I want to get to do some more like little outings just for fun. Nothing specific. Maybe just go grab, you know, a bubble tea from across the street, or go down to one of our favorite little cafes that we love that have beautiful gluten-free goodies, and maybe I want to get some more card games and stuff. I'm gonna put D&D here because my daughter and I want to start really playing it, but I really do want. She has her reading week, so maybe this week we can get into that. Let's see, Laurie, reading for an hour a day, usually before bed, watching a favorite TV show, listening to music, especially it inspires me to write, scrapbooking, memory keeping, for journaling. I love that. And I have a few games on my Kindle, but sometimes I get so involved that time runs away from me. I say set a timer. I try to, if I'm going to play with it, I kind of use them in a ways that will ensure that I can't stay on them for too long, because otherwise I will not come off them. Kind of say to myself, you can do like, you can set 3 things in motion or something like that. And that way I can go farm something, go create some, set it to go and create, make some bread, make some coffee, croissants, like I said, Parisian. It's a fun little game. And then maybe like start building one thing or something. And then I'm like, okay, that feels really satisfying and it's not a lot of time. All right, guys. Now into our timing here, and this is our story beats, the frame over which you drape your plot. Setting a timer is a great option to do. Yeah. All right, guys. So the storyboard is think in terms of your full days, half days, pinch days, life task days, and your true days off. I moved this over because it is the last stage, and I didn't like that it was sort of not in the middle, but you know what I mean. Let's see, Cami, the reason it's hard for me is because sure, the games give me some dopamine, but I also don't enjoy them. Rather than that, I'm obsessed with the rewards, and that's oh, interesting. Yeah, No, you don't want something that's going to be bringing you down. Only the ones that bring you up. That's what we're looking for. That's our happy, like I said, joy list. If it doesn't bring you joy, don't put it on that list. Okay, guys. So this is where we basically just take a quick look at our week and see which days we think we have all the time in the world, our full days. The half days, which we're basically going to have, we'll say about 4 hours that we can work with. Pinch days are the ones where we're lucky to have an hour to ourselves to do anything of these goals that we want to do. Life task days are the days where we're running errands and chores and we're potentially going to be out of the house more than we want to be, but things, you still need groceries in the house, so we do that. And then finally, days off. If you actually can put it in your schedule and do a 6-day week and have a true day off, that would be so refilling for you and will definitely keep burnout from happening. Okay, guys, let's take a quick 2 minutes and we will define what each day could be and go. What's will lead up to this? So these ones to be DEs. Underwriting. That's usually the 4 ones. So, okay, what did you come up with? Because we have a lighter week next week and we have a holiday tomorrow, that is kind of one of those stats where it just gives you more time, which I love. I'm going to try to have the first 3 days be full days because that way I can ensure that I get the assignment in. The class doesn't even unlock. I would like to get it in early again. And I realize that the class will unlock. I'm going to put a note. Unlocks 9 p.m. of the I think it was the 20th, if I'm not mistaken. Because I went to do it in the afternoon and it was like, oh, it's not there yet. So if I put that down there, I will realize that I have to kind of work that out. And I think to mix things up just because we can, I want to make our life task day Friday. And that way we don't have to do the same things that we're always doing. I want to mix it up a little. Let's see. Cami, tomorrow may be my L day. I've planned to make lasagna, have a full shower, do the laundry, make PB and chocolate squares. Nice. Which means dishes too. All task plans for today, but I usually use the landlords doing their own tasks upstairs as my excuse to put it off. Tomorrow they're out at work, so no viable excuse. Interesting. Oh, geez. Let's see. Tomorrow's a holiday. I guess Tuesday is my L day. Oh, hon. Let's see, Rita, I could have all 7 days full focus, but I'm going to use 2 of the 3 as half days. Yeah, I put down my half days as Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. And that way, although I'm almost tempted to make the Saturday a full, but I want to see how I feel first. Let's see, Lori. Monday and Wednesday are pinch days. Tuesday and Thursday are half days. Friday is a full day. Saturday is life task day. Maybe a half day, and Sunday could be a half day or a day off. I did not put a day off because I don't know. The only way I could do that is, how could I do that? I would have to kill myself tonight and tomorrow. I could have the assignment ready, have it handed in, and I could take Tuesday off because the next module wouldn't even be open yet. But would that be wise? It's an option because then I could have a real day off, which would be kind of cool since my daughter has a week off. Okay, guys, this is our care days. We have sick days, mental health days, buffer days, low energy days, and celebration days. We want to schedule them in, and if you don't need them, they become bonus days. And of course, you don't need all of them either. Sometimes you can kind of feel like I'm getting over this bug, so probably should be okay. And this week, maybe I won't need a sick day. Mental health, I think that will be by combining something more fun with Friday. Maybe I can stay off that one as well. Low energy days, I don't have time for a low energy day. I really don't. Okay, guys. What else do you have here? Cat, Monday full, Tuesday full, Wednesday full, Thursday full, Friday half, Saturday pinch or live task, Sunday live task or half day. Like that. Cami, if Sundays are your usual planning days, I put them as half days for sure. Yeah, for sure. Lori, but I doubt I'll have a day off as my grandson is in a hockey competition. We'll see if I'll probably be a half day. Yeah. Cami, with the bug, I'd make them low energy rather than sick. Yeah, true, because I'm at the recovery side of things, right? All right, let's do this 2 minutes and throw them in there, initials that work for you. So. This can be my... I can hopefully between the two get that done. Okay, what else I got here? With the bug, I'd make them low energy rather than sick. I like that idea. On the tail end of recovery, depending on how sick you were, I tend to make the following week all low energy and see any days with higher energy, more tasks done as bonuses, again, dopamine fixes. Yeah, I like that. If it's an easier recovery, then the first days are low energies with expectation that day 3, I'm back to normal. Yeah, that's what I ended up doing. I'm going to keep low energy for tomorrow. Are we going to have because we should have the landscapers here, which tends to make me feel less happy because spring is coming. But I made the Tuesday a buffer because I have a feeling if I can get it done, I want to have that done. And then the next module won't even open until, like I said, 9 o'clock. So, and then I will already have it down, and then I can just start the Wednesday right into module 3. And I have that little break in between. That would be ideal. I love that idea if I can make it happen. Okay, guys, your deep focus. Which goals will you focus on per session? Think in blocks of 2 to 3 hours. What is your agenda for these sessions? And save these for your big and medium goals. I would say that's where your chunkier amounts of time are, right? Your small goals likely won't even cover this much time anyway, right? So this is for your big and medium goals. What days are you going to tackle them? Attack of the living allergies. Yeah, that. Okay, guys, 2 minutes. Let's figure out which ones are going to be where we're going to give our deep focus days to. That way we know which days we really want to work on goal 1, which day we really want to work on 2, and goal 3. And go. Okay. What did you guys come up with that? I am putting the early in the week, I'm putting for development editing, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. If I do 2 to 3 hours per day on that and hyper focus on those, I can get that in early and done. And then writing will be for Saturday and Sunday. And the health goal is kind of an all week daily thing, but I kind of like the idea of doing like maybe a fun routine or something once a week. So it's not always just steps, it's maybe something more and a little more fun. Go to the gym in our clubhouse or like something just different, right? Different. Keep it fun. Okay, guys, our stage 7 is our rising action, all the events that happen in the story on the way to the climax, which will be our plan for next week and executing it. So the outline, you're going to create your master plan ideal week. You're going to create Monday's plan, including your top 3. You're going to populate your planner for the rest of the week. You're going to schedule in your self-care, your mental health, and your buffer days. Even if you don't need them, they become bonus time, but at least they're noted. This is the first draft of your weekly plan. Make adjustments as needed. It's interesting when you actually get it down on paper. Sometimes you realize you have more time for something. Sometimes you realize that you forgot something in the plan when you start looking at it, right? And then you make those little adjustments because it's allowed to be a first draft, right, guys? And then finally, our commitment statement. This week, I will make myself a priority and protect the time I have designated for my goals. I will follow through and take action to make progress on my chosen projects. This is our new mantra. This is what we carry with us into the next week. We are going to protect our time and move our goals forward. We've already taken a look at what has to happen. Now we want to make sure that we take care of the things that are deeply desired within our hearts. Okay, guys, thank you for hanging out with me. I will make some of those adjustments. I made all sorts of notes. If there's something that didn't come off right, please write a comment so I can make sure I make that change as well. I think the form itself works, the template. I don't think I have to make too many changes to that, but if any. But I do need to, there's some modifications I want to make onto the actual slides themselves to make things a little easier and clear some of the language, ordinary world versus special world, and borrow that from our monthlies, and things like day job versus our work, because often that is the mindset. It's our business, it is our work, our career. I will find a better word. There's got to be a better word. Thank you for being here with us. I hope you keep feeling better. I'm getting better, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for testing this with me as we figure out what works and what changes need to be made. And again, if anything comes to you, please write a comment so that I can make those adjustments. Okay, guys, thank you for hanging out with me today. I will see you guys next weekend. Watch for the notification that will come up hopefully Thursday-ish. And we'll try to figure out how to get the monthly done and the weekly planning and the writing sprints and keep everything going. Thank you, guys. Have an amazing rest of your week. Clear up your space a little bit, get that planner out, and get her all set up for an amazing week ahead. Thank you, guys. Oh, come on. Thank you, guys. Have a great week. Thank you for hanging out with me. Bye.